Welcome to Beyond the Pixel, episode numero dos, the second one. I'm
Let's
Luis
get it
Fernandez
going.
Sandrin, a technical designer, and joining me as always is digital artist Ken Ha. Ken, I'm not even going to waste any time. I've already wasted too much time. We're just going to jump right into it, alright?
Alright.
Gonna switch over, and then everybody knows what we're going to talk about, right? We said we were going to do it last time, so we're going to do it this time. It's the PS5. Finally, we know what it is, what it looks like. Turns out Sony is building a skyscraper in Dubai. They're calling it the PS5.
Yeah.
It's hold on. I'm getting something over the wire, Ken. Turns out it might be a bird/plane, actually. That's called PS5. No, wait. No, it's a console. It's a console. You put it in your house and you put discs in it. That's what it is. So let's see if I can get this up. There it is. Boom.
Boom. So I guess we should just start on the design first. It's right there.
As an artist, what does it speak to you, Ken?
First, the memes have been hilarious. The first one that I saw was the Seto Kaiba from Yu-Gi-Oh, but
Yes.
instead of his jacket, it's just this this collar as his collar. I love that one. As it is on a purely design sense, it's interesting. It's like well executed, so it's not like a sloppy design. When I saw it, I thought, I wonder if this is going to be a design that's kind of like the PS3 design, where it's less classical. It was kind of out there, kind of cool when we first saw it, but like I don't think it's aged very well, because it's kind of a bit of a, I don't know, it's a bit of a stretch. This one, I kind of don't mind it. I wonder if you'll be able to put it sideways at all.
You can definitely put it sideways. There's pictures of
right?
it
Without
sideways.
it being...
Yes.
Okay.
It doesn't look comfortable being sideways, but you can put it on its side. I'm not sure if you need to get like little foot pads for it, but that is certainly a thing you can do to it.
I'd be upset if you have to get a different stand just to put it sideways. Like it's got little crutches on one side.
The question is if you wanted to put it sideways, though. Just because of the length of it. I don't even think it fits. I'm staring at my shelf right now, and I don't think it would be able to fit into one of the little cubby holes or would have the necessary ventilation for it.
It depends on what your living room's going to be. I think the option to put it sideways is kind of nice, because some people have homes that just have things built that way.
Sure.
But overall, I don't mind the design. I feel like it looks better like vertical than it does horizontal.
Sure.
But honestly, it doesn't factor too much into it. Like, did you see the video that they put up when they finally unveiled the actual hardware? Like they had like this I don't know how long it was. It felt like a 5-minute long CG preamble.
Do you want to watch it? Do you want to watch it?
You should put it up. You should just put it up. Okay, listen, Sony.
It took a long time.
It took a long time to build up, and also, you know what? Before every single trailer, they showed us another CG cinematic of the PS5 logo or some triangles.
It's great.
They're just.
Look, you're talking about the company that brought a goddamn orchestra to live score their God of War demo. Did you expect anything less? I sure as shit didn't. Did I want anything less? No. Did they deliver? Absolutely.
Listen, it's beautiful. The problem is just that it's too amazing. Like you unveil this from this CG here, and you showcase the hardware, and to me it's just kind of like the guy who's wearing a biker jacket with sunglasses and smoking, like he just thinks he's so cool. Like this is what I feel here. Once you come up with it, the hype, you overhyped it.
No.
Like it's an okay design. It's not like, hey man, this is changing gaming everywhere, all gaming.
I don't know. I've never seen a console look like this. I've never seen a console look like this. Like people are gonna be out there and they're gonna be saying like, I want my black set-top box. I want everything to be like blending into the background. Yeah. I don't want people to know that I like technology. Like, no, bum that. Look at this thing. This is a goddamn like Michelangelo piece of work that's gonna be sitting on my shelf. It's gonna play games.
Is this a positive in your apartment if you put it in there? For you, like, do you like the design?
You're talking to the guy that has a Mortal Kombat cabinet sitting in his living room without a correct spot to place it. Like,
Right,
I don't think this is here or there.
Right. It might be a little.
I am not most
a bit
people.
Of a skewed perspective.
I am not.
Do you
most
like
people.
the design? Do you like the design?
Sure. I mean, I'll put that on my shelf. It looks different. I wish it was smaller. But like, hey,
I 100% agree. It looks kind of big.
Look, it's not about the size of your console. It's about how you cool it. And I assume the size of it is
the main reason why
it's
Yeah,
that
exactly.
big. It's probably because they're innovative cooling tech. Also, one thing that someone pointed out to me, you see these grooves that they're showing here?
Mm-hmm.
Those grooves are actually tiny little like crosses, squares, circles, and triangles.
Oh, like in the texture you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Same with the controller on the back. It's kind of dope.
I mean, cool. Kind of, I think. It's kind of a nice little touch. It looks like the hardware is great.
Would you
But
say
listen,
it's
I buy
also
consoles for everything for the other 90% of this this Sony news release for the games. That's what really hit for me.
Yeah. So
And also, I probably don't feel like I'm gonna buy these peripherals.
no, you don't need a media remote if you're just gonna play games on your thing. Let me just take a
quick little sippy.
sip of water.
Yeah.
And we're gonna jump into the real stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If I can find it.
So which one do you want to start with? Oh, okay.
Gran Turismo. Let's start with Gran Turismo.
Okay.
The cars are very shiny.
They're super shiny. This is a classic Sony PlayStation reveal game.
From
Like they
Digital.
often come out of the gun with Gran Turismo.
Mm-hmm. It's a shame.
What do you think?
It's a shame that the footage wasn't 60 frames per second, because I think that's what really is going to show on your racing game is like, look at these cars. They look really good. It seems like every year there's like a thing that you're going for when you show your car game. First it was like, how round are these tires? Because before, like, how many like triangles are these made up of? And it became like, okay, the tires are round now. Like, how wet can you make these tracks?
Yeah.
These
Look
like
at the rain
tracks get
physics.
soaked. What?
Look at the rain physics as it hits the water. The water hits the windshield.
Yeah, just peels off. Like,
Which
I remember when they showed Drive Club.
Very impressive to me.
Yeah. Now it's like, if you look here on like the dashboard and how the lighting like reflects off it, the cover of the hood and on the dashboard, and it like lights up those textures. That's the thing that stood out to me the most, right?
Yeah. It's funny you said that. I didn't really notice it. I thought it was just me, but the first thought I had when they panned over the interior of the Aston Martin at the very beginning, I just kind of thought, well, that seems like a giant waste. Like, to spend all that effort on the interior. But then they showed this shot, and I was kind of sold right after that. It really makes you feel like you're driving. I don't know. It gives another level of immersion. That's
never gonna play the game this way, but it's nice.
I play the game this way when I'm playing by myself. But if I ever playing to win, I think I wouldn't go with this mode.
No, I want to see the track. Right? I'm not gonna go first person on it. But I will play on the hood. You know, the hood of the car, the hood cam that they usually have.
Yeah.
That's my go-to.
Yeah.
When I'm not playing like follow. When I'm not playing follow behind, then I usually play like follow behind on the other ones. I feel like we skipped something. No, we didn't. This is the thing. This is what I wanted to hit. Also, did I lose you, or are you stopped?
No. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I think that my video is a bit delayed.
Nope, you're fine.
Are we back? Okay. Ratchet and Clank.
That's
what we're seeing.
This is what sold me on the PS5. Because remember when I was talking about Spider-Man, about how fast he can swing, and like that's because of the speed and the stuff, and like that's what they're gonna do. Yeah. They showed off Miles Morales, and I was like, okay, that's cool. That's the game that Insomniac is doing. And then they showed this, and I'm like, oh wait, no. That's just Insomniac's side project. This is what they were spending their time on. This is their big PS5 game. And like you're going to see now, they're going to jump through one of these. Look at this. This is the fast loading time. Look how many assets they loaded at the same time. Ah!
Yeah, it feels like this entire sequence was one giant flex on the entire industry.
Although you do see like stuff pop in like at certain points there. Like watch, you'll see there's a frame. See where all the stuff pops in. and like that stuff will get ironed out. But like that's almost like it proves it to me that this is real. Is seeing that it is not flawless. It's like, okay, no, they're really doing this. This is probably what the game is actually going to be.
Yeah, that it makes a big difference. Yeah.
And I almost wanted
to sequence. When I saw the sequence, I thought of your exact words of the SSD, because we had this conversation. And I was wondering how much of a difference they'll be able to make, and it's kind of impressive.
Frankly,
if you're playing the game like the way that it's shown there, I doubt that sequence is going to happen very often in the game. That would be like mind-bogglingly nauseating to play like that all the time.
Mm-hmm. That's like the intro shot,
it was
right?
Definitely that was the intro shot. That's definitely a flex shot right there.
Yeah, that's the one that where you call your friend over and you say like, "Look at this! I bought a building. Look what it can play."
Minecraft with all the shaders. Were you a fan of? Do you want to pause it? Do you want to keep talking about Ratchet and Clank? Because
sure.
It sounds like you're a fan.
Let's go here. So not traditionally. When Ratchet and Clank came out, was at the period of my life where I was a teen already, and I didn't want any of that kiddie shit. You know, I was into Jak 2. I was into like the big swept back hair and like the attitude.
Right.
Hop on a motorbike, speed through this decrepit city. Yeah, you're ready for this. It's the story that I told someone else. It's like Naughty Dog. Huh? None of that SpongeBob
I'm done with
stuff.
you SpongeBob age.
I was telling someone like I almost grew up with like Naughty Dog, because when I was at like around like 8 or so, that's when like Crash Bandicoot was hitting and you were playing that, and Spyro. And then when I was like in my early teens, that's when Jak and Daxter was out. So yeah, like Jak 2 being like this more grown up like mascot character. He used guns, so he was cool. And then they made like Uncharted, and that's like like late high school era, like swashbuckling adventures. And then like when you turn like 21, then like Last of Us came out and it's like, oh yeah, life is terrible always. Just speaking of which, as I said that, I just broke
your
my flip-flops.
emotional moods were dictated by Naughty Dog, you're saying.
Oh yeah, that's 100% exactly. But Ratchet is something that came through like afterwards, when I had like passed that like I'm not gonna play any of these kiddie games, and I was like, no, Ratchet is like really well reviewed game, and that PS4 game they put out was really good. It was way better than it should have been for a game that you spent only $30 on. It was incredible.
It was value.
So I'm down with Ratchet now after playing all those.
So was it mainly the tech demo that sold you for the game, or was it like the nostalgia of Ratchet and Clank for you?
Nostalgia had very little to do with it. It had absolutely everything to do with if this is what this is their best foot forward. I think this is the first game they're showing on PS5 where I look at it and say like, oh, okay, you couldn't have done this on PS4. And even you see later on, they'll show like Horizon, and it looks great. It's a beautiful cinematic. But here, with Ratchet, what they did is like, here's the game just straight up running. You know, like this is what this is
you mentioned another thing
it's gonna look like.
Yeah.
Although they don't show any of like the teleport jumping stuff.
When I first saw it, I was almost questioning whether this was like a doctored video, because it was so good. But and if it wasn't for the videos later on of the other games and everything having this same level of high consistency, that it proved it to me that this is kind of the era of the PS5 here, or this next generation. Yeah,
they also said everything that you'd see from this point onwards in the presentation was going to be running on a PlayStation 5. So unless they're risking marketing stuff, I assume nothing is risking lawsuits, then I assume that everything is real. Like, see, here that's what you would see in gameplay, right?
But even that, it's funny how that they seamlessly disguise the tiny bit of loading they do need by having you enter that little mirror universe, Doctor Strange mirrorverse. But it definitely felt like this was this was them saying like, listen, the PS5 can do this, and we want you to do all of it with this game.
Yeah.
High level of particles. There's so many effects going on here, and also like the way that they have the particles break up and still interact with the world.
And
Means that they're able to handle a high amount of physics at the same time.
They go away pretty fast if you pay attention. Like as soon as they break. Like if you look at that, they pan away there at that point. But there was some stuff on the ground before, and it quickly vanishes. But
yeah, they do good cleanup.
Yeah, see, they're all gone at this point. So but this game is like out 2021, end of 2021, or early 2022. Who knows? This game.
You know what I saw this the opening for this? I thought immediately we're in the age of Pixar now. Like I've always thought of game consoles as when, like for example, Final Fantasy VII had these cutscene cinematics, and then when games were able to look like that, I thought that was like one level of tier. And then suddenly now the games are starting to hit that like pre-rendered Pixar kind of look now. That I think it for me marks another high water of gaming now. It's so impressive.
Yeah, and I'm excited that this has gameplay ramifications, right? Not just so much for like the graphics and stuff, because like sure that looks nice, but loading sucks.
Loading sucks. Yeah.
Loading sucks.
Yeah, and
that's 75% of my job.
It's actually really important the effect that it has on the developer as well as it has on the player experience, because people don't realize how much time is spent into figuring out hacks around like system loading times and limitations like that, and a lot of that like time could be better spent on bugs, or honestly that always translates to more game features. Like we say bugs because those are the results, but like when we're able to handle more bugs, it means that there's more game features. Right.
Like when you remember God of War in 2018 and it had that whole design methodology that this game is going to be all one take. It was never going to cut. And it's true, it never cut, but you had these loading zones, or every time you went to that big realm turntable, you'd be slowly pushing that thing, and then like the thing would turn, and then like lights would flash, and you'd be sitting there and like checking your phone because you are at a loading screen. You're at a loading screen, and it takes a while.
They just like prettied it up.
Yeah.
It honestly changed the meta of loading screens, because we see a lot of games after that do that. Like, if you look at
Buddy, Tony Hawk American Wasteland, pioneer of this.
Yeah.
It's had the whole.
It's not a new technique, but it definitely resurfaced a lot.
Could you imagine like playing Bloodborne and then not having to?
Over it, but I want to get to the one of mine things that I want to talk about.
Yep.
Which I thought I was much more excited for.
Well,
which is the. Hello?
Wait, hold on. Is it this one?
I don't know. No.
It's not this one.
No. Okay, what's this one was, I think I remember laughing a little bit when I saw this one. What game is this again? Can you brief me?
Here, I'll throw it on. This is Stray. This is a game I first heard about in 2016, where it was introduced as HK Project. And the pitch was, this is a game about a cat in Kowloon City. And it didn't have the robots or anything at that point. But I was like, yeah, I'll play your cat game. I'll play your game. I'll play as like a cat and like have a little mystery in Hong Kong. And that is exactly that. And they added like, there's all this intrigue with like, all right, rip humans in the back and like no escape and all this stuff written.
It's kind of like a dystopian Tokyo.
Yeah.
It sounds like the robots have like taken over after the humans died off.
Well, it's Hong Kong. It's Kowloon City, which is like the walled off city in Hong Kong. Very, very high poverty. Very not high, like low. Did you say high poverty or low poverty? High poverty, I guess.
High rate of poverty.
Yeah. So it's very like.
But then why is everyone robots?
Yeah, I don't know.
What's the story? That's what my theory is that this is a world where the humans have died off and then the robots became sentient.
And what are you trying to do as this stray cat?
It's got a little
backpack.
My prediction. This is my prediction. This is the Death Stranding version, but with cats, and it will probably sell.
Oh, you're taking
100 times more
packages?
copies because of it. Yeah, you're taking packages.
Whoops.
You get little scritches here and there. That's how you get experience points.
Oh, it's
Actually,
scritches?
like when you do something good, they scritch you a little bit, and you just level up.
Yeah.
Little cat gear.
Super excited for this game.
The game looked very interesting. The art style reminds me of one of my favorite artists, Goro Fujita. He does a lot of like these robot, colorful, artistic illustrations.
Like Simon Style-esque?
And more playful, very playful. You would see the kind of style reflected in that trailer. It's I actually love it, and I think that the art team or whoever worked on this did a great job. Like visually, they picked some very, I don't know how to say it, but I guess it's just appealing. Like the designs. There's gonna be a number of other games that I want to talk about that also have this exact same feel where they don't have a lot of decisions to make because of the style they chose, but each decision's a great decision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So which one did you want to hit next?
Spider-Man Miles.
Okay.
Spider-Man Miles.
All right.
I know that you glanced by it, but for me it was kind of the reverse reaction. Although I completely understand.
I didn't gloss by it. I was like, that was my predicted thing. Like, of course they're gonna do a Spider-Man game.
True. That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's right. I wanted to also talk about that because congratulations, that was a great call there.
Well, I was slightly wrong. Like this is the side part. This is the abridged. This is the Uncharted Lost Legacy of the Spider-Man game universe.
This is the add-on. Yeah.
But it's.
But I think
we should clarify. It's not an add-on because there was a big fight on the internet about that. It is a standalone game like Uncharted Lost Legacy. And my prediction for what they're gonna do is they're doing this Miles Morales one to sort of tell the origin story of Miles Morales. They're not gonna bridge off all the other like hanging thread points from Spider-Man that left off with like, do people care about spoilers just for Spider-Man original 2017?
A spoiler alert right now from the previous Amazing Spider-Man. Okay.
After credit sequence, you have like revealed that Harry Osborn is being treated with the Venom parasite, right? And that's probably the major story point for Spider-Man 2. I don't think this is going to deal with that. This is going to introduce Miles Morales. I think Spider-Man 2, you're going to have this beautiful box shot with like Peter Parker and Miles Morales back to back because there's two Spider-Mans because it's Spider-Man 2, all right? And then like through the story of Spider-Man 2, Peter Parker is going to die at the end. And Spider-Man 3 is going to be Miles Morales like alone without a mentor and him discovering himself in Spider-Man 3. Like that this is the arc they're painting is what I'm guessing.
Hey, can you refresh this video because I want to go back to it because it looks amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's very possible. I'm just hyped for Miles. I feel like, you know, Spider-Verse was my favorite. It's been my favorite Marvel movie ever since I saw it, which was a little later. But
a local
it made
treasure.
Me fall in love with the character. A local treasure. That's right. Made here in Vancouver. Holla,
exactly.
605. But man, that movie made me fall in love with Miles Morales as Spider-Man, and
he is the current Spider-Man. I think that,
right? Maybe
in the comics.
I don't know. The comic universe, as fun and as great as many things that it spawned, goodness gracious, it's confusing as heck as to what's going on. People die, people come back, they transform gender, they turn races, and you know, things are somehow written backwards into canon. It's hard to follow the comic book world, so at some point, I believe that he has his own series though.
Yeah, I think.
Pardon?
Definitely. But I think that also like canonically the Amazing Spider-Man currently is Miles Morales. Like when they sell the Amazing Spider-Man brand, but I don't know because originally like the Amazing Spider-Man brand ended with spoiler alert if you care about Spider-Man, the original Amazing Spider-Man line ended with Dr. Octopus and old Dr. Octopus switching bodies with Peter Parker dying, and Doc Ock possessed Peter Parker becoming the superior Spider-Man, starting that line. before they rebooted it again as The Amazing Spider-Man with Peter Parker again. And I think after a certain point, they started it with Miles Morales as The Amazing Spider-Man. But
wow,
I it's been a while since I looked through this, and it is a process.
And then, Spider-Verse came out and was like, I can explain all of this, why all the Spider-Mans exist. It's the Spider-Verse.
Yeah. It's all true.
Tie it all together. I hope that they'd make a Spider-Verse game. I hope that's the third game. I hope this is game 1. I hope game 2. The first one was game 1. This is game 2, and the third game, including Venom, but bring him into the Spider-Verse universe, because that's never been seen in the comics. I don't think. I could be wrong.
The Spider-Verse definitely has. Even like in games before, like Spider-Man. Venom. What?
No, I meant Spider-Verse with Venom. I'm not sure if that's happened.
Oh no. Maybe. Nope. There was like Venomverse, which was like multiple versions of Venom all coming together to fight. Right. Okay, I remember this. This was actually pretty recent.
Yeah.
This was pretty recent. There was a bunch of Venoms came together to fight like this older ancient Venom that was in space, and it was trying to like coalesce all the powers of Venom or something. There's a lot that's happened.
Classic comic book storytelling. Anyways, all to say, Spider-Man has got me hyped. I think it's a great front runner to showcase off, or to sell copies of the PS5.
Yeah.
I'm super excited for it. I wonder.
It's the only launch title. They
like,
showed
they didn't
two
show
launch
a lot
titles,
of...
right? It's
sure.
Spider-Man Miles Morales and something else had Holiday 2020 on it. And I don't remember what it was.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure the amount, but anyways, I'm glad to have Spider-Man as it as a launch title. This one, I think it actually might break my console hiatus. And for me, because I switched over to PC for a little bit, and it wasn't even the fact that I disliked consoles. It was, I think there's more, instead of PC versus console, it's a lot more about customization versus standardization. And there's a lot of benefits to both. Like, you see the benefits of standardization now with the SSD hard drive in the PS5, because you can make games that are just for the PS5, but like you said, everyone has this hardware, and you can actually exploit it, whereas this wouldn't happen on the PC. Very few games I don't think I can think of a single game on PC right now is required to have an SSD.
Do you think that changes? I think it does.
I think that definitely changes, yeah. Because once there's consoles leading that charge, they're going to want to get on PC, and then PC is going to have to, like, pretty much mandatory standardize.
You're going to have to start getting, like, drive speeds, right? Recommended drive speeds.
Yeah. And the two industries play off each other so much, because the PC industry really spearheaded the SSD movement. They were the first to really get into it. And then once the console catches up, while they may be behind, they're the ones that innovate the most on the technology, I feel. And also have the studios that have to exploit the technology to its fullest to be able to get it on the console games. Like, I think the most innovation happens there, versus there are definitely some PC games that just sleep on the fact that they have they can just have a really high spec rating. And they'll target just the online nerds that have like $9,000 PCs.
Yeah, well, here's the thing: is like, what is the number of people that have the new NVIDIA RTX 2080, right? And then compare that to the fact that there is over 100 million PlayStation 4s in people's households. That's like, you can sell a product not just to the high-end user, right? So like, who knows that like who has an SSD in their computer and like ray tracing hardware in their computer, compared to if you're building a game for PS5, you're gonna have an SSD, you're gonna have ray tracing capable hardware. Same with Xbox Series X. So bada bing bada boom, you already have like a retail base that you can point to. This number of people at most are gonna be engaging with this product, so it's worth us putting this effort to get them to buy it, since they already own a console.
Yeah.
Now,
all right. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I'll get to the end. I was just gonna say like how price would affect that. But did you want to talk about Kenna?
Oh, that's true. Did they announce the price?
No.
I don't remember seeing anything.
Nope.
Ooh,
but it's not gonna be.
They got me. They totally got me.
What?
It was just... I completely bought into it. I was like, yeah, I'll get a PS5. I don't know the price yet, but they totally made me forget about it because they jazzed me up with all these games and the way it looked. Ah, they got me.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what price it is at a certain point, right? If you're the kind of person that's gonna buy this thing, you're gonna buy it. Is $150 gonna make a difference to you? Make or break?
I mean, the last time the the PlayStation had issues with pricing, it was more than $150, wasn't it? Wasn't it like a
Compared to the
$200,
Series
$300
X,
price?
yeah. But compared to
in the
360,
free
yeah.
area. What do you think it's going to be priced at? Do you think it'll be priced at something like 700 or above? 800? It's possible.
Let's talk in USD terms.
Yeah, don't think about our fake money.
Yeah. Gonzalo in the chat says the $150 is a big chunk to a lot of people, and I said, yeah, it is a big chunk of money to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I should specify for us that like are in the industry, and this is like what we do. At a certain point, when we want it, when we're just gonna say like we're gonna want to see this thing, whether it's $150 more or less is not gonna make a much difference to us. But for the average consumer, absolutely 100%, it does make a difference. If this is not the thing you live and breathe and make your dough on for the whole thing.
For me, I would say a reasonable likely price that I will buy will be at 550 to 600 around
USDs. Because 500 Canadian dollars, 500 American dollars is 750 Canadian.
It's true.
I think
okay.
maybe
a little bit less than that. Okay, that's my price range. I do agree with you that even if they priced it higher, it will be sold obviously to a lesser degree. It's kind of sad though if they priced it too high. I think the problem that's what they ran into with the PS3. You only get people who could afford it that played, and it felt like a very class dividing system, especially when it came out in the same era that the Wii came out, or and which was like one of the cheapest systems.
Wii is not even in the same conversation of those though at that point, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Everyone bought a Wii.
Anyway, everyone bought a Wii. Yeah.
Everyone bought a Wii.
But anyways, that's a good consideration. The price.
I think you're going to see like maybe $499 to $549. And then the hard drive, the disk drive-less version is going to be $50 lower than that.
That'd be nice.
But
that could be possible.
But I really don't know at this point.
My worry is that if it was that price, they would be spewing it. They'd be like standing up, opening the balcony windows, like, "Hey, everyone, PS5 is this price." But my concern is that they're hiding this extremely large price tag.
Well, here's the thing: are they just waiting for Xbox to go first? Are they just waiting for Xbox to go first?
That's true.
Do they just not want to make the same mistake as PS3 did?
That's true. It's we gotta keep in mind that it makes a massive difference what Xbox does and comes out with a system, since they're the main competitor.
Remember like in 2013 where Sony came out and priced their console $100 cheaper than the Xbox One? Remember when Microsoft came out and priced their console $200 cheaper than the PlayStation 3? This wins and breaks like the next 8 years for everyone involved. Like it's
that makes sense. That's another good possibility that they don't want to spring it right now.
In every single situation, the cheaper console did the best. Do you remember the Sega Saturn?
Reason why they do better though? Do you think the price is the main determinant as to console wars?
Not 100%. It's a mixture between.
What percent? Just guess. What percent is price? Because I'll tell you something. I think like the early on, it was a huge factor.
I think in the last generation it was more the fact that that Xbox One console came out and people still didn't know if you needed an internet connection or if it could play used games. The answer was no and yes, but people did not know that.
Yeah. I mean,
3 years after that console was out, people still thought that thing didn't play used games.
It's true. There'd be like leftover internet rumors about what it could and couldn't do either. Like someone who just didn't get updated but heard from 4chan about what it could do.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's people like hearing the Xbox Series X and they're asking like, well, can this one play used games? Still not knowing that the Xbox One is just as capable of doing that.
I want to move on to the other games.
Do you want to see Kenna? Kenna seemed like your kind of game.
Yes. Let's see. Yeah, let's see Kenna. Yeah. I have notes on it. I was just searching through it. So I couldn't help but notice this game because it has my name, Ken. But I'm just a little narcissist like that. I did. So as soon as I saw the trailer for this, I wrote down in my little notepad, this is Pikmin meets Zelda with Studio Ghibli influence. What do you think?
I'm not sure I saw the Pikmin influence on it because I think like the little creatures are more of a Sonic style thing where you're just rescuing them. I didn't see any gameplay like you using them.
Okay, you're not using them?
I didn't
thought you
look like it to me.
But you could be right.
Also, the thing is this is a
Pikmin.
game made by a studio that originally made animated films, so I wouldn't be surprised that if the gameplay was actually pretty straightforward, especially if it's like a launch title.
Surprised me about the Ghibli influence.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. It looks amazing. This is when I started crying in the trailer. I cried like 3 times while watching the PlayStation 5. Okay, I need to talk about this. I cried 3 times while watching the PlayStation 5 reel because there was so much creativity and passion behind all these games that I was like, my God, people are amazing. Video games are amazing. There is so much creativity and beauty behind the work that people do artistically and like behind technology. Yeah, I got emotional. Also, I'm completely wrong. You are definitely using those small guys to do stuff.
Right? So yeah, you see my point.
Yeah.
But I did want to point out something that was kind of interesting. So I follow a lot of concept artists and concept art websites. And it's very interesting. This isn't the only game, but there's been a number of games that seem to follow a theme, and that theme was just earlier predicted by what was popular on these concept art pages. For example, you notice in this PS5 reveal, this wasn't the only game to showcase some sort of tribalistic nature, voodoo magic type of creatures. We just saw there, it was like these root people. And I wonder if it's like the steampunk wave, but this era is like the Lovecraftian witchcraft age for gaming. At least for the PS5.
I don't know. Like I got like a very big cameo vibes from this. If you remember, like the Xbox launch title, and like there's a bit of Horizon bent to it as well. But and then like the other game that came out.
Horizon. We got to get into Horizon.
Do you want to get into Horizon?
We have to get into Horizon. Yeah, that was damn. What did you think? Are you a Horizon fan?
Yeah. I'd say so. Let me actually like cut this before. Oh wait, no, I think I got it. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, you got it perfect. Yeah. And listen, I'm gonna get it wrong, and I'm gonna say Horizon Zero Dawn Forbidden West, because to me the whole game's called Horizon Zero Dawn. But darn, this trailer was very very impressive.
It's very beautiful. I'm interested in seeing what they change with the gameplay of that game. Because you don't really see much of that here.
Yeah, it didn't showcase a ton of gameplay. It's very much a
2022
announcement
game.
Trailers. Yeah, 2022 game, storyline driven, but it's very impressive. Like, just speaking about the design, Horizon Zero Dawn had amazing creature design and environment design, and it's very cool to see it continue to be pushed here. Also, at the end, you got like Warlu fonts.
Get what?
There are these mech elephants.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Elephants from Lord of the Rings, but mech versions. They're so cool.
I can't wait to climb those and stab it in its power core.
Oh yeah. This is definitely one of those console moving games. This is a huge reason why I would want to get the PS5. but in
Man, it's so pretty. Like I
2022.
just get like awestruck just watching this again.
Yeah. Did you cry during this this trailer?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, this is definitely one of them. This is one
I'm
of
not
them
crying
for
right
sure.
now. Just my eyes itchy. Oh, look at that shot! Ah, look at that shot!
So I wonder, like, I wonder how much of we're seeing is very impressive, like hackery, and how much of it is that they can fully realize this at full strength. Also,
It's allegedly
Mr.
running
Man
on a
from John
PlayStation
Wick,
5. What? Oh yeah, no, that's Lance
that
Reddick.
actor,
Lance Reddick.
yeah, Lance Reddick. He's so iconic from John Wick. I was like, oh, I hope John Wick shows him in Horizon.
You just want him to like
This would
climb
just be like
a
he's gonna show
robot,
up in
robot
Cyberpunk, he's
stegosaurus, and
gonna
just say,
show up in
"Whoa!"
Horizon. Yeah, we've got a world to burn. All right. That's all I have to say for this. I'm very excited for this.
Yeah, there's not really much to
Horizon.
say at this point other than like it looks pretty.
They didn't show off very much. They showed off a bit of the artwork and story, which is always, they just needed to announce a little bit and everyone be excited. But I'm excited to see the gameplay later on, what kind of innovations they'll make as well.
Okay, we'll get to Resident Evil 8 later, but I need to do a quick hit on this. I need to talk really quick about this. This is Pragmata. This is from the studio
Oh yeah.
that originally was going to do Deep Down. Do you remember Deep Down? That really impressive.
I have a vague recollection.
It's the one that had like the night, it looked kind of like Demon Souls-esque, and he was like underground. It was a big dragon, and he was spewing fire, and the fire like went around the column and stuff, and it was really impressive.
Yeah.
So this is from that studio. Yeah. It's very.
I actually loved how many new IPs I saw during this reveal.
Yeah.
It's very refreshing to see this many new titles.
Yeah, this game is never coming out, but it sure looks cool.
Is it never coming out? Why do you say that?
Of all the games listed here that are likely to never release, this is high on the list. I would say because Deep Down didn't release, I'm hoping Pragmata releases. But definitely, like,
trailer and
they put a year on it. They put a year on it, though, I think. They did say 2022. So
I'll tell you one thing, that this entire trailer had a tech demo kind of vibe to it.
Definitely. Yes. But I also her hair doesn't animate. It's weird. It doesn't animate realistically. And I couldn't get over that for the longest time.
It's a little strange. I was like, did he just like spawn a bunch of lawn hoses? But the very end is the part that actually got me interested a bit into the story. I wonder if it's some sort of Matrix light story.
Her hair is so weird.
Hey, remember the last episode when I said, would it break the reality for you if you had in gravity them without helmets and they're just breathing out in space? What's going on there?
She's not real.
Was that little girl just breathing?
She's not real. She's like the cat, right? Like her eyes are all weird and stuff.
Right. So Pragmata falls in for me the category of kind of interesting, but I'll have to wait until I see more of it, because
it's the Death Stranding. It's the game it's the game that drops the cryptic trailer in 2 years before release, and then you wait a while to figure out what the hell is this game. But hey, like Deep Down was like this weird, slightly cooperative sci-fi fantasy game. I wouldn't be surprised if some of those elements carry over into this game as well. It's definitely a lot more sci-fi.
My big concern is that there's no gameplay, so I don't even know what I'm looking at right now.
Well, it's 2022, right?
Unfortunately, this isn't enough for me to buy your game.
I'm sure they'll show more stuff of it afterwards.
Yeah.
But that's not the only project Capcom brought.
Yeah. Oh, we should get. Oh, wow. I'm very excited for this one.
They also brought out this little game here, which I was watching it with some of my coworkers, and I was the first one to say like, "Oh, this is 8. This is Resident Evil 8." It's. I recognize it. I recognize this lighting engine.
Velate. I believe.
Velatage.
It's the Velate. I feel like Resident Evil, maybe Capcom in general, just has something that they need to do with the title every single time. They have to find a clever way to work it in. And Village is actually a pretty good idea.
Well, before they always
to
did
be
like
honest.
weird stuff with like the numbers, right? But
Yeah.
but now they're doing
Yeah.
it with the Roman numerals and that. And apparently this game is the one that's going to end Chris Redfield's story, which whatever that means.
That's right. He should. Old Chris is looking rough. He's
Also
looking a
different
little
from how
rough.
he looked like in Resident Evil 7.
Yeah, he looked. How long has it been?
Well, it's because he showed up in Resident Evil 7 and he looks younger than what he looked like in Resident Evil 6. And now in 8 he looks older than all those combined.
Listen, Resident Evil 7 was the Fast and the Furious version of Resident Evil in that franchise. Everyone was like amazing. They came out of crashes and they had their hair in the perfect spot, glasses on still. No, there's no wonder Chris looked great. But here he looks like,
this is
finally,
no country for
like,
old men.
You know when Bilbo Baggins gave the ring away to Frodo?
Yeah.
And he went off to live with the elves, and he finally saw him again. This is what it feels like. He gave the ring away to Leon or something like that, and then now.
And then he shot Ariandel with a .45. I remember that part from Lord of the Rings.
The classic Lord of the Rings too.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Bilbo, why? Werewolves, witches.
Werewolves, witches. But I really hope, and I think it's strongly suggested already, that it's gonna bring you back into the same village as Resident Evil 4.
No.
There's even footage at the very beginning, which if you played Resident Evil 4 as much as I played Resident Evil 4, you remember that the first opening stage looks exactly like that. There's like this rock path that you walk down, and it's like a tutorial part where you pick up a little bit of bullets and shoot one zombie.
Yeah, 100%. I know what you speak of.
Mm-hmm.
Here's why it's not. That gentleman was speaking English.
Okay.
That gentleman who accosts Ethan with a shotgun was speaking English.
Maybe he's a guy that moved there, that spoke English. It's been how long? Look at Chris. It looks like it's been like 40 years for him, man. New settlers coming in. You could be right. I don't know what I'm talking about. I just hope it's the same village because I would love to see some of the same architecture or characters come back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe that's me sucking the dick of RE's Ghost too hard because I'm a huge fan of RE4.
No, I'm with you. I like RE4. I like RE4 a lot.
So I've mentioned this to you before. I really hope for this game that they don't do exactly what they've been doing with RE2 and the remakes, which is making the zombies bullet sponges and doing the dodge mechanic. But they might. I think it's an overall better game for them in the past. But I really liked RE4 because it felt like a bit of a shooter puzzle. Every time you went into a new area, you had to deal with zombies. And if you weren't great with it, you're going to run out of bullets and you're not going to be able to progress. So it's always been a juggling of handling health and items and how can you solve this shooter puzzle while using the least amount of resources.
Mm-hmm.
At least in my head it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of hope they go back to it, but I hope they don't go too far. Like the slider is like RE2 and the other side is RE7. And I really don't... They shouldn't go to RE7 ever again.
You didn't like that.
But a little bit to it. Besides, don't get me started on RE7. They did so many things that just hurt my feelings.
Really?
Sorry, am I thinking RE6? I'm thinking RE6. I'm sorry, RE6.
No, RE7 is the first person one. The one that you were like in the house and you're playing as Ethan, and then like you get your arm chainsawed off in the beginning.
No, sorry. I apologize to RE7. I made a terrible mistake. I was talking about RE6.
There you go.
It's like blaming good child. And
there
just...
you go. Or I was like, you're like RE7 is like when Resident Evil started getting good again. Like what?
Yeah, my bad. I'm sure there's like a lot of haters gonna be like, this guy's an idiot. Yeah. No, I'm sorry.
But Ken, I have bad news for you. I have bad news for you.
What? What's it gonna
This
be?
gentleman is not going down easy. This gentleman here is gonna be a bullet sponge.
Werewolves.
I don't think you're gonna be getting what you want.
Has there been any werewolves in? I don't know if it's a werewolf exactly, but have there been any werewolves in the RE lore before this? Because it's been strictly zombies, right?
Implying werewolf means it only transforms at a certain period and then transforms back. So I would say like no.
Oh, you know what it's gonna be? It's gonna be RE4, or like Resident Evil Werewolves, which is some sort of Umbrella developed mutagen or something like that.
Well, that's all it is. When you think
I-
about like all the creatures that like came up in Resident Evil, they're all like horribly transformed humans. I don't think it's a stretch to like put a folklorish type bent to it. Like RE4 like was sort of folklorish in a way, right? Especially like
love that part of it, too.
when you get to like the end and they do like the credits and it shows like, oh, here are some paintings that look like they're out of a storybook of how life was in the village, and then like they came with the Lost Plagas, and then like there's this moody like shadowing as like one of them like has a thing sprout from his neck, and Resident Evil's great.
Well, one of my favorite parts about RE4, sorry to talk about it too often, was the fact that it had all the things you're talking about, the super moody, scary setup, and then the game ends with a water jet ski chase out a tunnel with the president's daughter on your back as it explodes out a cave.
Yep. And then she propositions you.
Yeah. So, what I always loved about Resident Evil was that it played a little bit of that humor into it.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely pulled back because they went too far in that sense, and I wonder if they'll hold a little bit of it in Village, because I like that side of it.
Yeah, it seems like it's still going to be extremely moody, right?
I'm too scared to play it, but
Like-
I think that Horizon and Spider-Man are in my list of reasons to buy the PS5.
Again, this game is not going to be out on consoles, on current consoles. Like at the end, it shows only. I'm not sure if they showed it in this one, but I remember seeing on the site. Yeah, watching Chris shoot Mia in the face again. Yeah, it says coming 2021, which is gonna mean we've gotten a Resident Evil game every single year for the past 2 years and going for 3 years. And if the rumors are true, and the Resident Evil 4, yeah, they don't say here. If the rumors are true, Resident Evil 4 remake comes 2022.
Yeah, that sounds like a proper schedule for them. I'm excited.
Probably
I'm
gonna come
excited.
out in that February,
They seem
March,
to
April period, eh?
right the ship. Pardon?
They
I'm
always
lost
come
for
out
a second.
around that February to April period.
Yeah. Like I was saying, I think that they've kind of righted the Resident Evil ship a little bit. It was going in a bit of a weird direction for a while.
Was 6,
And
even
their
though.
latest attempts at it.
Do you know that Resident Evil 6 is still the highest selling Resident Evil game of all time? I'm not sure if that changed with.
No!
Yeah, I'm not sure if that changed
no,
with
come on.
Resident Evil 2, at all. But
No. Oh well.
definitely was
Oh
it.
well. It's okay.
Okay, let's do another quick hit
I mean,
here.
I bought it. So.
Let's do another quick hit.
Okay.
Demon
Another
Souls.
quick hit of Village. Mm.
Demon Souls.
Mm. Oh right, this is
Yep. So
huge.
Gonzalo is super excited for this. In the chat.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
This is a huge game.
It's huge. It's gonna be nice being able to
looks
play
so
this
good.
game. It's gonna be it's gonna be nice being able to play this game at a stable frame rate. But the thing that I was baffled at from a technical standpoint is that you still have to choose in this game whether you want frame rate or resolution. You can have
What
the
do you
game.
mean? What do you mean?
They announced the settings that you can run it at is you can have it in 4K at 30 FPS or at 1080p at 60 FPS.
Yeah. I can see that trade off.
So I got kind of bummed out. I got kind of bummed out, you know.
Of the console.
You know, for a game that's a
Yeah, it's
remake
unfortunate.
and like knowing that that's still a limitation, that's kind of took the wind out of my sails, right? I felt like I was hoping
Would
we
you
would
play
maybe
this at
be able
4K?
to choose. 60
Would
FPS
you
at
play
4K?
this at 4K?
No, I'd play
Yeah,
it
I would
at
not play
60
this
FPS.
I would not play this at 30 FPS.
Oh,
So I think that if, for example, they did show that trailer off and said that it was 4K 60 FPS, that would have blown my mind away as to the capabilities of the PS5.
no,
I think that's like very, very difficult even for CPUs right now, or like computers right now.
Mhm.
So I would have been very, very impressed. But that seems like the proper trade-off. I don't personally play a lot of things in 4K right now because it's still a bit of a stretch in terms of hardware for most things. So I'd be very surprised if it was able to run that well.
I think
But it
Forza.
looks
I
so
think
good, though.
Forza.
It looks very, very good.
I think Forza Motorsport 7 and Horizon 4 run at 60 FPS. Nope, that's not true. That's not true. They also at 4K run at 30 FPS on consoles. Yeah, that's right. On Scorpio.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's also a standard trade-off that most people are going to make, because I think that jump from it feels like the jump from 30 to 60 and 4K isn't worth the effort that it's going to cost them and the amount of sacrifices in terms of performance
Like,
that
yeah,
they're going to have to make other
visual fidelity,
yeah.
particle effects, numbers, and everything.
If you are a PC user regularly, then you often think about what kind of trade-offs you need to make for your system, and usually for me, like jumping to 4K is a very big luxury for only the strongest of builds.
Well, the other thing is, like, I would have to like wire my computer to my TV, which I do, but then I have to play on the couch with the controller connected to my TV, which I'm like, this thing is better. So I just play on my 1080p monitor at 60 FPS, even though my TV is like a 4K OLED, and I don't have any content that will run on my kits that will be 4K and 60 FPS. So, what can you do?
Okay.
Arcane.
I had a
Let's do
few in here.
Well, okay, not Arcane.
No. I'm done for Arcane. I was just gonna say I have a few in here that I thought were a bit of duds.
Okay, let's hit Deathloop first before you take the wins out of our sails. Then, unless that's
you
one of
do
your
the duds first. I don't know if it's actually a dud. I just thought it was kind of silly. For example,
Deathloop, really?
One. Oh, sorry, I didn't know we were talking about Deathloop. Let me look at what I wrote for Deathloop here.
Deathloop is the Arcane game. I'll just give a brief overview as you look your stuff up. It was a game that they I think announced last year at E3. This is Arcane Studios, the people that made Prey and Dishonored. Prey the reboot from 2017.
All coming back to me now.
Yeah, so all their games are about, like, they have one of the best art teams of any studio that I know of. It's super cohesive and super imaginative. You can even see, like, with all the weapons here and this little boulevard, all the technology that they have on their wrist. They've always been super strong in making really creative designs. And they're one of the last companies that are making those immersive sims that System Shock and Deus Ex made. So they're sort of like RPGs that give you branching paths to customize your character into whether they want to be like in stealth or be good at like technology or be good at like, I don't know, supernatural abilities, magic, etc. And then you problem solve your ways through levels that have a variety of solutions to their problems. BioShock.
Kind of like Dishonored, right?
Huh?
Yeah.
Dishonored.
BioShock, Dishonored.
BioShock a little bit was like a light version of that because
yeah, I agree.
I feel like it didn't go all the way into being an immersive sim, but it definitely has that sort of DNA on it. And like, if you were gonna hack or use plasmids or upgrade your guns, but you could kind of just do everything, you didn't really have to pick and choose.
Yeah. So for this one, for me, at first I'll tell you the two takes that I had on it while I was watching the trailer. The first take was that I wasn't super impressed by the art style for what I thought it was. So the beginning opens a lot like a story-driven type of game. And if I'm looking at a story-driven game, I feel the requirement and bar needs to be much higher in terms of visual aesthetics and fidelity and just the quality of the build of the 3D models. But as I watched it further and the gameplay became much more apparent in terms of, you know, what you can do, I switched a little bit, because when I play games that are gameplay heavy, I actually want a completely different set of things. I want simplicity, I want readability, I want fairness in the visuals, I want less clutter. So when I looked at it through that lens, I actually quite appreciated this visual simplicity a lot. Because if you just look at it, it doesn't look like you look at all the other games that were announced, this is not hold up to the same bar as those other games. Even it's not that this looks bad, but
to me,
this
it's the
isn't compared to
art
Horizon.
direction more so than the technical, right? If you break down like into like the technical part of it, definitely you'll have stuff like Ratchet or Horizon always looking good, but like Arcane to me, it always had is that vision of this world that you couldn't have imagined elsewhere, right? And Horizon definitely has that, and also technical chops to back it up. But Arcane just has such a distinct style that this sort of represents that, even if it's not the technical like masterpiece that you would like want to look at.
I agree.
Right?
I agree. That's what it took me a bit of time to convert, but I saw its beauty after a little bit. You know.
It's interesting to me that it's like Dishonored without the it's like Dishonored without the need to be stealth. Like it's Dishonored so stealth related here, and then he gets spotted, and then it's just it's action all the way. It definitely seems a lot more hardcore focus on action like that, which is a little bit guilt free. Which is a problem that I had with Dishonored, where every time you killed someone, you were very upset about that.
Oh my goodness!
The game got mad at you. You got a bad ending.
I had beef to pick with Dishonored for that exact reason, because it felt like it had two directions it wanted to go. It wanted you to be stealthy, but then it presented all these amazing, fun killing abilities that were way more effective and just entertaining to use.
Yeah. And then said, "How dare you use them? These are people you're killing."
Why did you put your skill points in this 18-point tree that you could use just to kill people and torture them? Go with this sanitary route where you send their mom a greeting card and they feel great about themselves and go home, and then you can bypass this area.
That's exactly it.
That ability sucked.
Did you play Death of the Outsider?
No, I unfortunately did not, but I had a few friends that told me. I just never got around to it.
No consequences.
No consequences?
No consequences. You can kill as much as you want.
Shameless.
Kill whoever you want as badly as you want. There will be no alternate like ending for you. All right.
Yeah, that was just like the biggest kick in the butt. The alternate ending that felt like they knew what they were doing.
Yeah. The
anyways,
the other thing about this game, quick hit, is there's the two assassins. I don't know if this is like a PvP sort of thing or if it's just two different campaigns. That's gonna be interesting to find out. And that's it. We'll see.
I do have one more thing before we move on.
Okay.
This is weird how this is not the only Groundhog Day, Edge of Tomorrow type of game that we saw during this release.
Yeah.
There has been a number of games, maybe 3 games that have that kind of mechanic in it.
Like this one?
Yes, what's that one? Sorry, again?
I know it's the Housemarque game.
Is this Returnal?
Returnal, right. This is the Housemarque game. Housemarque originally had made like Resogun and a few other games that I don't remember. They're sort of famous for being the studio that used to make arcade style games, and then saying arcade games don't sell anymore, so we're not going to make arcade style games anymore. So this is the first game they're making after that. This is exactly it. They said like arcade games aren't selling, they aren't doing well for us, so our next project is not going to be an arcade game. So this is it. This is what they've been working on. So
what do you think of this project here?
It could be good. It could be. I like its visual style a lot. I have no idea what it is. It has the thing that I noticed immediately is how far pulled back the camera is from the character, which gives a sense of like
you mentioned that.
How like, and when you pull the camera back from that character, and because I know they used to make arcade games, that's sort of how an arcade game is structured compared to a game like Resident Evil 4 where the camera's like right close to you. And how many enemies you're shooting, all the projectiles on the field. It feels like a very fast-paced arcade-style game. And I'm not sure if that's just the bias of me knowing what Housemarque has done in the past.
Well, no, I think that's exactly what it gave off. Well, I don't know exactly. I feel like this trailer had a bit of two faces to it. One side was this very slow, methodical, mystery kind of storytelling with this woman who keeps dying groundhog-like style.
The crash.
But what was more interesting was that the planet that she's on feels like it's a big part of the mystery.
Yeah,
so
she says
on a
it changes
story
every time, right?
I think it's a great premise. Yeah. So I think that there's a lot of interest for me on if this was a movie, for example. I feel like I would really be interested in watching it. But when they showed me gameplay, the first thing I thought was one, first off, cameras drawn back, like you mentioned. That sounds like a little point, but if you look at any of the more cinematic games in the last little while, they have all made the decision to pull the camera in. That is not just because that does a couple of things. That also changes the focal length of the camera you're going to use, and it makes it so that the perspective that you're getting feels like you're closer to the action, which is why they pull the camera in. So the gameplay that you see right here, first off, it's not that it's bad. It looks just very generic. You don't see that you're doing anything in particular. They're shooting space projectiles against space enemies, and they're just killing them. So
And there's a
that's
lot
one
of
thing
them
to
as
me.
well, right? And looks like you
There's a
can
lot of them as well.
you can see where the it's like a trailer of two halves, right? Oops, nope, that's trying to.
If that was the next part of the trailer, like, yeah, that was a really weird trailer. How they got from
No.
this to these sock puppets.
And you see how the projectiles come from off screen and stuff. So I feel that's another part where the camera gets full far back, so you can see where stuff is coming at you from, right? So it feels like you're surrounded. But like you said, look at this. Look at all these like shots. These very cinematic shots.
More. So this I wrote this down. This game is called. So I wrote this as Groundhog Day, Edge of Tomorrow meets Annihilation. That's what I wrote it down as.
That's generous. They're two really good movies.
Not on quality. I just mean in terms of theme.
Yeah.
Like that orb in the middle was very Annihilation-esque. The whole premise of a mysterious planetary thing occurring is very Annihilation-esque.
The mummies in the background.
So I'm interested in the story, but I'm happy to watch a Let's Play of this game, probably. That's what my theory is. We'll see.
Man.
When is this slated to come out?
Let's see. I don't remember. See, did you see those projectiles? Look at this. Does it not look like a bullet hell?
Yeah. That looks like a bullet hell. That 100%
like this,
right
there. Look at this.
Do you remember in Annihilation when Natalie Portman had to dodge 300 glowing bullets?
Maybe I would have been less scared. But you know what? I really want to play this game. This is the shot.
I don't. Yeah.
I love bullet hell games. I love arcade games. I think combining a very story-driven game with extremely arcade gameplay, which Housemarque does really well. Like they do these bullet hell type shooter games really well.
True.
And like I think combining that with like a story, that sounds good to me. It's even if as conflicted as it looks.
I would buy what you're saying. If they showed enough gameplay for me to believe it's a good bullet hell. They showed flashes of maybe 3 seconds total of bullet gameplay, and it didn't look particularly interesting, and didn't show me any kind of mechanic that would kind of put itself apart from the rest of the genre.
Here's what it is. What if it is just an extremely cinematic and story-driven Enter the Gungeon? Or an extremely cinematic Binding of Isaac.
Here's the thing about these games that if I buy a game that has a serious storyline appeal to me, my problem is if the gameplay doesn't match up or in terms of quality, then it feels like I have to grind to get the story, and that ruins the story for me. It ruins the story for me. It adds salty taste to it. Like,
I see what you mean.
You're watching Lord of the Rings, and just before the very end of the movie, someone slaps you in the face super hard, and you start crying in the audience in front of everybody. And that's your memory of the ending of Lord of the Rings, and you can't get it. That's how it feels.
That's gonna be me playing Last of Us in 2 days.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Neil Druckmann's gonna reach out of the screen and slap me across the face. See, like, you shouldn't have killed people. Like, I'm sorry, Neil. I'm sorry.
Returnal for me falls into that pit of I'll have to see more about it because there's interest. I'll look at it if they show me something else, but I need to see more before I buy into that. Okay.
Do we need to talk about Sackboy?
I don't know if we need to talk about. I'm a big fan of Little Big Planet. it was a lot of fun. It wasn't particularly like innovative it was kind of innovative, but in terms of
It was very
its mark, it wasn't flash, but it was very fun to play, especially if you had friends over or you would want to play with your girlfriend. It's a really, really fun, simple game, and it had a lot of charm to it. And I'm very excited that it's coming back, actually.
But this isn't this isn't Little Big
I
Planet.
know. It seems like even better. Listen, the game is practically a sequel to me.
Is it? You can't
It's
create
an
levels
evolution
though.
for sure.
It's just a
I know it.
platformer.
Okay, so you can't. I had that written down because I wasn't sure if we could create levels. That makes a really.
I mean,
big difference
I
then.
don't know. I don't think so. If you could, why wouldn't they call it Little Big Planet 4?
I don't know.
It's just called Sackboy's Adventure. It doesn't even look like you can dress him up. But I don't know if this is just
Oh, like-
marketing.
Yeah, but either way, it looks like fun. I'm not sure. Like, yeah, the Little Big Planet was always a sleeper for me in that I loved it, but it wasn't. I wouldn't rave about it too often, but I would play it in my off time a lot, and especially with friends over. So I have a soft spot in my heart for the Sackboy.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say about it.
Right.
If I get a PS5, I'm gonna get it. That's all I have to say.
All right. What else?
Was there anything that you wanted to hit?
I'm just flicking through that. Oh my god! I need to talk about this game. I
Okay.
need to talk
Hit
about
me
this
up.
game.
Hit me it. I wonder if it's the same one I'm thinking about right now.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
So-
I've never wanted to play a game so badly like as of right now. I love car
Is there
demolition
wrong or
derby
right?
games. Huh?
Tell me if I'm right when I have this euphemism here. This is Fortnite meets Rocket League,
Okay.
right?
I'll take the style of Rocket League. I'll take the style of Fortnite combined with the like madcap car action of Rocket League, and maybe combined with the destructive potential of Twisted Metal, with the competitive nature of Onrush, which is a game that no one but me played. But it was probably one of the best racing games of the PlayStation 4 era. Onrush was amazing. It was on PlayStation Plus. No one played it. It died horribly. The studio shut down. Ugh!
Success stories all around.
Yeah. But
Listen, so,
this is like look at it. You're running away from the cars. You're jumping over them. You're stunting. It's like fun like characters, particle effects out the butt.
Guaranteed dances. I almost guarantee you there's going to be a dance.
Oh yeah, for sure. You can dance. You could probably dance in the air. Air dances.
I hope the car dances too.
And the way that they get destructed and they fall over it. There's so much cool potential in this game. I love car arcade games, and seems like. I hope this takes off. Yeah, it has a terrible name, but like.
it has the potential to be quite fun. I think that it hits a specific type of genre that. Kind of like Valorant, I believe, is ready for not like a refresh or a takeover, but an addition in terms of variation.
Mm-hmm.
So I think both Rocket League and Fortnite are not bad right now, but probably lost a bit of their heat as for when they first came out. And this game looks like another game that tries to combine two different genres for a refreshing take on both of them.
Well, it also seems like it has a variety. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say the whole thing to me is whether the gameplay, how it will play out, because I don't know from the video what are the rules. Is this a battle royale? Is this a, just a deathmatch type of thing?
It definitely
feels
seems like
a game like this.
It seems like
it feels like a game like this. Rules. Sorry.
It definitely seems team driven, right? Because it shows like the two teams and it says versus, and then has them fight against each other. The thing that makes me interested in it is that it has the potential that Rocket League and Fortnite don't, which is it has the potential to have multiple modes, right? Yep. Which in one case will split your user base, right? And might have like lower volume servers, etc. at the start if like it doesn't take off immediately, and you have the risk of the game dying at that point.
Yeah, it's funny how that's a weird gambit that you have to do if you add more modes. It's like you might split your audience while you do it.
And like lower the hyper specificity of it. Fortnite less so, but Rocket League, people got so good at playing Rocket League, you know, and that was a specific skill set that they had for like the way you did the shots, predicting the angle of the randomness of the ball, different strategies that you can do with your team. People got good at Rocket League. If Destruction All-Stars probably doesn't have a dedicated mode, and it's a variety of like this sort of like party pack of modes. Like one of them is like, oh, you got power-ups and you got destroy enemies. One of them is maybe a race and you have to get through these turbines, and you see some of them got like sliced in half. Or you have to collect power-ups, and if you hit someone, and then you get their points, and if you destroy them, you collect their points, and then you got to bank them at the other end of the arena. There's so many things you can do. There's so many things you can do.
What if it's a car MOBA, right?
I'm out.
You have your hero cars with lanes.
I'm out. I'm out. I'm
start
out.
banning your cars.
I'm gone.
That Aston Martin's OP. I banned the Civic. I banned the Impreza. I banned the Accord.
Final Destination Hummers only.
Pretty much the whole question is whether the gameplay can hold up, but I think that if they keep the physics and the feel proper from a game like Rocket League, when you develop a skill in a game like that, you just want to use that skill, which you'll never use in your life anywhere again, on another game. It feels like you didn't waste all the time that you spent. That's how I felt when I went from Team Fortress 2 to Overwatch. Because like, when in life does predicting where someone's gonna walk with a rocket useful? Unless you're playing TF2 or Overwatch.
Crossing the street.
Crossing the street with a rocket launcher.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. The one that I had a bit of it's a bit of snarkiness to is, I don't even know if the title is correct because the logo was so weird. I didn't know what the name was. I think it's called Death, but spelled
Jet for Sales.
Can you bring that up? Because I want to see if this is the same trailer.
Is it?
The trailer showed the title. I couldn't read the title.
Is it this one?
I didn't know what the title said.
Is it
yes. What is the title? Is it Jet?
It's Jet. Jet far something. We'll see it at the end of it. Why did you not like this game?
I didn't dislike the game. In fact, I find it kind of interesting. I really dislike this trailer. The whole problem for me was that for me, this is all just for me, so I probably could be nagging a little bit, but there's this little text that's floating through the entire middle of the screen the entire time when I'm trying to look at whatever you're trying to present me. It's obscuring it, and then when it finally comes out, I don't know what I'm looking at. This game is called Jet? Are you kidding me? Could you hide more of your letters?
It's Jet the Far Shore. There you go. It's Jet the Far Shore.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sure it actually looks kind of an interesting game if you're talking about a kind of a civilization type of game that expands multiple millennia.
So, this is a Super Brothers game. Did you ever play Super Brothers Sword and Sorcery?
Oh yeah.
This is them.
I actually like it quite a bit.
This is them. See, Super Brothers.
Listen, I'm fun at their trailer. It has nothing to do with how good their game is.
I don't know what the game is either, though. That's a good thing. Like I don't know what it is exactly. It seems like an exploration space game. That you go to different planets.
A game where you cultivate planets. Yeah, I hope it's a game where you cultivate planets.
Yeah, you carve out a future for people haunted by oblivion. That's.
Well, I'm looking more of like the Rick and Morty route, where you raise a civilization of bastards that are just jerks, and then you get them to spawn other civilizations that go out into the universe and just be jerks to everyone. Just like the God Hand.
Considering how wholesome Sword and Sorcery was, how beautiful
not.
And tranquil, like that Jim Guthrie soundtrack. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. For Sword and Sorcery, was like I had that downloaded and it was in my playlist for like a good length of time back when that game came out.
That game is also beautiful too.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
You see their cinematic touch in this game's trailers. If I could look at it without these little bits in the way.
Yeah. This is the other launch game that I saw, the one that says Holiday 2020. I feel like this is a game that's going to launch on the PS5 as well. Like they're going to have this and Spider-Man.
I think that you'll see a lot more planetary games like this. I think what they'll be able to do with the SSD is really have that space to planet transition locked down,
Mm-hmm.
without having these fake loading screens as you go on planet.
Yeah.
Oh,
All
yeah,
right.
that's good. I'm glad you brought that one up because that was the one I wanted to bring up. Uh, I don't think there's another one that I particularly want to talk about, unless you have another one that you would like to talk about. I have that last one last topic that I want to touch, but
Yeah, we can do some quick hits like this one here from Hyper Light Drifter. I just like the way it looked. The aesthetics always kind of has that sort of whatchamacallit. What was that game that came out? Journey, yes, but also it's this sort of thing they do with the colors. They did it in Fury, Furi, the one that had the that was somehow related to Afro Samurai. Not sure how. But yeah, it kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah, it's a bit of like a neon push towards all the colors, kind of like our logo.
Nice. Shout out to Ken Ha.
Shout out to myself. Yeah, I was actually gonna say about this game. It seems I don't dislike it, but you can clearly see the influence of the indie genre from previous games. It looks a lot like yeah, and the movement was actually great. I love that they didn't have this slow running person.
Mm-hmm.
It feels great to have like a solid movement.
Solar Ash, that's what it's called.
We're here for this illustration is beautiful. But it also feels like it feels very Journey-esque to have that monumental distant structure in the background that brings all this awe and wonder, and you have a character that's running around with cape-like features.
Well, did you play Hyper Light Drifter?
I played a bit of it. I didn't finish it. The visual of that game was great though.
Yeah. Did you sort of get the same feeling from that coming over? Like, it seemed like that's also a game where you're a very small character in a very big world.
Yeah, I get that feel as well. I definitely get that feel. Yeah.
I'm just buttoning through here. I guess we have to quickly talk about Bug Snacks.
So I actually love Bug Snacks. I think it's gonna be one of the sleepers. That's my sleeper. I don't even know if it's a sleeper, but it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
So the premise, Octodads, which it makes complete sense. The humor is exactly the same, and I guess you play as these characters that procedurally turn into whatever they eat, and the world is populated by bug
googly-eyed edible food, sentient food.
Edible food. Sentient food that Walrus had no problems eating that that creature. I think this game will probably confuse a lot of vegans if they play it.
How did you think the pitch for this game came out? It's like it's half you are what you eat combined with like googly eyes and Pokemons.
Listen, the pitch is like this. I know exactly how it went down. Sit down with whoever company or whoever's in charge of making that decision, and then just point to Octodad and just say, "What do you expect us to make after this?" And then you look at this game and you're like, "This makes complete sense." After you make Octodad, you make a game that looks like this. It makes complete sense.
It makes
great. Complete sense.
It's great.
I actually love it. It's very humorous. As you can see, people like turn into whatever they eat. That was like a weird junk monster. But it made me wonder if there's like a weird dark storyline behind this, because these are walruses, right? Does that mean that these are just spirits that ate like a walrus and he became a walrus? And the question is like, where are the humans then? Or is this what humanity has become? They found a way to transpose themselves into the animals they eat.
Wow. I also just realized that centipede thing is actually just a rack of ribs, and that.
Yeah, I know, it's great.
I only just realized that. Also, the burger has onion rings for legs. Bug Snacks. What a weird thing.
This is like reminds me a lot of Cloudy with a chance of meatballs, right?
Yeah. All right, yeah. I'm just quickly buttoning through to see everything. Do you need to see a very sweaty basketball player or no?
That trailer was such a dud. No offense, but I was like, man, you look at all these other trailers that the PS5 announced, and you just have one CGI dude,
hey,
real sweaty.
Hey, that's real time sweat.
Real-time sweat.
Real-time sweat.
It feels all right. I don't want too much heat, but it feels like that's the symptom of the sports games genre right now, where they have a luxury of being able to just put out a new game every year that is incrementally better, and you see it in their tech demos. This is what they're showing off. This is the whole crux of their pitch is that we have sweat in this game now. It's a basketball
They've been
game.
having sweat since the 360. I remember that being the big thing, where they had very sweaty gentlemen throwing basketballs around.
I think sports in general has a thing with sweaty people.
People
and
sweat when
sweat's
they
been
do
a high
sports. Not sure if you know, Ken.
In the marketing pitch, you have these multiple lists of items they have on the board. They have, gameplay. They have like the roster. They have UI. But at the very top is sweat readability and sweat realisticness. And they mark themselves out of 4 categories, and that sweat category is the top one. It's worth the most amount of points. Hence, you had NBA 2K21. 21 now.
Yep.
That's 21.
They've made 21 of these games, Ken.
We'll see.
All right, we need to move on. So I'm just gonna let this go. There we go. This is Ghostwire Tokyo. This is the game that they showed off last year, really quick, from the very enthusiastic lady, who is no longer part of the company, unfortunately. But I remember because of her like amazing presentation. I don't know where she's at currently, but like holy shit, that was a lot of energy on stage, and I really appreciated that. But this is like from Shinji Mikami as well. He's the guy that made Resident Evil 4 your favorite game of all time.
Makes sense.
After the Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, so it's the 3rd game from Tango Gameworks.
Yeah.
It's not at all what I thought it was gonna be.
No,
it is like not at all what I thought it was gonna be.
Oh, the horror game. This is an action.
This is an action exorcism. This is like Card Captor Sakura for adults. I love it.
Yeah, it looks a bit of like BioShock influence too. BioShock in Japan. But the first part of the trailer didn't have me sold. It wasn't until the second part where they showed the gameplay that it all made sense to me.
Where he's just doing the Naruto hand motions.
I was starting to do it. What got me here was that the sound and the feel of it looked really fun to use your abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Really visceral, and the reaction and the sound effects make a big difference to me in terms of how your abilities feel and how the things you do in your games feel. So I think they did a good job with this one. I'm kind of interested, but not enough gameplay, unfortunately. I almost need like I'm sure there might even be one, but a separate trailer just to see what the gameplay is like. It looks very promising.
This is a console exclusive, by the way, for a year.
Really?
It's only going to be on the PS5 for a year, for a whole year.
That's surprising. Oh, I guess only for a year. So then it'll go out afterwards.
Then it'll be on Xbox as well. It will be on PC and PS5 at launch, and then it's going to be on Xbox Series X after a year. Sort of like how Rise of the Tomb Raider did it.
It has a very Japanese horror comic touch to it. If you're familiar with Junji Ito,
no,
he is the Japanese Lovecraft, I guess.
Oh,
of horror.
Yeah.
His horror mangas are notorious on the internet.
Really?
And I don't know what came first, but it's very much in that realm of The Ring and stuff like that. And this has that kind of vibes all over it, which is great. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really excited. This is at the top of my list as well of like games that I'm excited to see. I'm not sure if they put the date on there. Let's take a look here again, really quick. Nope, that's the game that
Plus it said in Japan, and I was gonna go to Japan this year, but thanks to COVID, I'm locked down, so it'll be my chance to to visit anyways.
Yeah. Whoops. Oh, I'm skipping through all this here. That's gonna make everyone sick. So let me just go here. Are you familiar with Oddworld?
Yeah, Oddworld. I'm familiar with it back when they announced that reboot back in the PS3 era or something. But I'll have to admit I didn't play a lot of it. The trailer hence didn't have that nostalgia to me, but it did have a bit of tech impressiveness when I saw it, though. Just seeing what they were able to accomplish on the screen was kind of impressive. What about you? Were you a fan? Or are you a fan?
I don't know much about Oddworld. Like the one that I played the most of was Stranger's Wrath, and I still didn't finish it. But I know it's the other ones were like almost puzzle platformers where you're trying to guide these little guys into to safety, sort of in a lemming style way. So here we have more.
I'm rooting for them though.
Huh?
Because you don't see. I'm rooting for them though, because you don't see a lot of puzzle platformer type of games that have this level of quality put into them. Like this is, the only one I can think of that reaches a similar level in the past little while is Trine, but this pushes beyond Trine, and maybe like Tomb Raider and stuff like that. But
so, what were you impressed with here the most?
So there was a couple of shots when they were like here. There was a lot of hyper realistic lighting and here too with a lot of different models happening at the same time. That's what kind of impressed me that I didn't think that you'd be able to really do with like that last shot there. The fire physics were quite impressive as it fell down through that little like brick area. They're just these little art cue things that make it like it seems to me like it would be really hard to do. It might be really easy to do, but the fact that they're able to pull it off is kind of impressive to me. Yeah, I'm cautiously excited for this one.
Yeah,
I would probably want to see a bit more gameplay, but yeah.
I'll seeing them do this, and I hear like this title, like Oddworld Soulstorm. I feel like I've been hearing about it for like a very long time, so I'm sure this means a lot to like some people because I know it's a very beloved franchise. It's just one that I unfortunately haven't been very familiar with.
Yeah, me too. I missed it too. I feel like it missed the the West Coast in BC here.
Yeah, I wanna go back and finish finish Stranger's Wrath first because I hear that game has a fantastic ending. So I'll boot that up on PC and probably check it out, and then do. I have like the PS3 versions of Abe's Odyssey, and I think they redid the first game for PS4 as well. Abe's Exodus. I have Abe's Exodus on PS3, which is the second game. Abe's Odyssey, they made a remake on PS4, so I'll probably play that. I don't know why I own these games. I never played them. I have Mega Man Legends 1 and 2, and I haven't played any of them either.
Ooh, I love that game.
Yeah, I know a lot of people do. A lot of people are angry at me because I haven't played that game. All right, I think that's it. Do you want me to hit your thing?
Yeah, this last one. This is probably the thing I was most excited for.
That's it for PS5. Let's move on from PS5 then, right?
From PS5. I mean, this is probably going to be on the PS5 most likely. I don't know yet.
No, it's out this year, right?
But okay. Oh,
is it not?
Oh,
I had assumed so. I had assumed. Let me switch to it first, and then I'll.
Yeah, let's introduce it. I got a bit spoiled in terms of people telling me that this was already out because everyone knows how much of a Star Wars fan I am. And back in the day, during the N64 genre, there was a game. Let me tell you about a game called Rogue Squadron 1 to 3 that was on N64 to GameCube. This is my favorite series in Star Wars gaming in general. And there's another game that is a huge beloved following called X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, which was its previous PC iteration of this kind of base combat sim. And man, oh man, the ships are the best part of Star Wars. Like to me, this is clearly to me. I've already made this joke already before, but if they made this game just a dating sim where instead of anime hot girls that you date ships, and you get to romance the ships, and you get to form long-lasting relationships with the ships and take them out on little repair outings, right? And then maybe power goes out and you have to kind of sleep on board for the night, and it would be the perfect game for me.
You want to take the ships in for an oil change?
Yeah, there's a lot of private stuff that you want to do with your ship that I wouldn't be able to show on stream.
Oh, all right. This is a family show, Ken.
As much as I want to get super hyped for this game, I really want to see gameplay footage, which they might have out already. I'm not sure. I've only seen this trailer, but this is one of those titles that I think that they know has so much history and nostalgia to it that it's gonna be a big seller. I wonder if they'll be able to make it a more competitive multiplayer type game, leaning more towards the X-Wing versus TIE Fighter genre, because I think that it feels like there's a massive missing component in the industry right now, which is, space fighters or plane fighter type of the dogfighting type of genre. We have a few games, but none of them have really reached that level of popularity and polish. So I hope there's high hopes for this. It's being produced by EA.
EA Motive.
So say about that. But it's by Motive, right? It's just not produced by EA. It's
Developed.
Sorry, it's produced, but it's developed by Motive, right?
Yeah. So EA Motive also supported them on Battlefront 1 and 2, and I believe they did the space combat portions of those games. So it makes sense for them to make their own standalone version of this in Squadrons.
Ooh, and you see here, you get to use the new era ships. Listen, I have a lot to say about Star Wars, and say what you will about the new movies. They produce some amazing ships.
Are these the new ships?
Well, he gets into
oh yeah, that's the Interceptor or
I can't remember the name of it. That is Kylo Ren's Interceptor there.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of new ships, or at least it looks like they're using the new ship designs. I'm super hyped. I'm so hyped. They also focus in on one part here where she says, I'm not outrunning him, put powers to the engines. That's a very specific little mechanic that was in X-Wings versus TIE Fighters, where you had to control the direction of your shields and manage your power, etc., etc. It's in a bunch of other games now as well. But I hope that they bring that back, and I hope that they make it a bit more like that.
TIE Fighter was the game that everyone told me about. It's the one where like you're scanning ships to make sure they aren't smuggling illegal rebel goods, right?
Those rebel scum. Just try to do anything to get around you. And then you had different ships. You had like bombers, like Y-wings, and your ships had different capabilities. So if you were put onto a mission, you would need to have these like fighter escorts to help you do a bombing run or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, so much.
There's a release date right there. That's October. That's on current consoles. Yeah, October 2nd.
Ooh, baby. I wonder if it'll
that's like
also be
a week after Cyberpunk.
Wow. I think I'm honestly more excited for this than Cyberpunk, but I'm putting it out there. It's just me. You don't have to agree with me or not.
Don't add him. Yeah, it's
don't add.
looks like I think Cyberpunk is on the 25th and this is on the 2nd. It's literally a week after.
Ooh.
If I'm correct about that. Oops, I made you small. There we go.
Yeah, so I'm hyped for this. I'm super hyped for this. So apparently this was a bit of a last minute announcement because
it leaked, unfortunately.
There's a bit of leakage that happened, and it was good. Well, it's fortunate for me because I get to find out more about this little game that they're working on. We have a friend that's working on this game. That
we do?
Can finally say.
Oh.
Yes, Jeff. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He was like all under wraps, and he's like, "I wanted to tell you so badly, kid." He's been working on it for so long, and then now it's finally out. The news is out. Yeah, that would have been big news. He definitely shouldn't have told me anything because I wouldn't be able to keep it in. This game is too hot.
Well, I'm glad you're excited for it. I don't have that background that you do with Rogue Squadron. I've played Rogue Squadron 2, like the first like the trench run mission and the second level, and I think that's all I ever played of it. Coming through it later. I did play a lot when I was a kid because I had a PS2, right? So I played Starfighter. Yeah. I'm not sure how similar that is at all. Starfighter and Jedi Starfighter. But I definitely had a lot of fun with the Starfighters in Battlefront
Starfighter
2.
Fun. It was a bit like the arcadey version of Rogue Squadron, which had a bit more depth in terms of the ships and stuff like that.
Really?
But it was very in terms of gameplay. It's like imagine just a more in-depth version of Starfighter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope it's good. I feel like EA needs a win.
Yep. 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 You know, well,
there's a lot
I
of really
believe that
talented people that I know that work at EA,
Yeah.
and
there's so much. It's ridiculous. They got the best people there.
they do. They do.
They do have the best people there. Yeah.
And I really hope it does well for them, both for as a studio, and as a fan. I think they deserve a win at this point.
I hope they do my baby right. Okay, I really, this is okay. I love Lord of the Rings, and I really hope this is like when I watched Lord of the Rings for the first time, and not when I watched the Hobbit series for the first time.
Really, you like Lord of the Rings? I couldn't tell. You only mentioned it like 5 times in this show.
But let me tell you about the Hobbit, okay? The antithesis of what Lord of the Rings is.
And that's the show. Thank you for watching.
That's actually a pretty good time. I got nothing else. Do you have anything else?
No, I think that's it. That we just went lightning through that. There was a lot of stuff to talk about. I think we'll go back next week to less topics and more in depth.
Yeah. I expect one really in-depth topic, which is your first impressions of.
Right. That's something that's gonna be going through my head.
Yeah.
I'm having a problem.
So,
I don't know if I'm gonna get. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get Last of Us in a physical copy or a digital copy. I think I'm gonna cancel my physical copy, and get a digital copy just so I can start playing it.
I knew it.
Just so it. Listen, because we're on the West Coast, right? If I get it digitally, I can start playing it at 9 p.m. If I pick it up at EB Games, they have to call me and I have to book a time.
If I wake up at 7 a.m., I can go to the store and get my fix a little bit early for the day's over, and I'm all good.
I can't go to the store early because you have to make an appointment because of COVID. The store is so narrow, there can only be one person at a time. You can't browse the store anymore. You have to order your stuff online.
I'm very excited for you. I'm very excited for you to be able to play a game that you're very excited for.
Yeah.
I'm also very excited. It looks amazing. I am just unfortunately in the position where I still need to play the first one, so I'm gonna do that first.
I just finished watching the first one like last night, and Left Behind, just to prepare.
Good idea.
Just to get caught up.
Good idea. Next week, I want to have a bit of a movie breakdown and a bit of a analysis. You don't have to do anything. I'll prepare it, but I just want to go through.
I like movies too.
Yeah. No, I just meant like if you don't want to prepare anything, that's fine. I'll take care of it because we're gonna talk about a movie that's near and dear to my heart. So
okay,
I'm excited to talk to you.
I'm excited to see. We'll have a 50-50 split between Last of Us. Is it an uplifting movie? Because I think we're gonna need to pick me up.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
You're doing the eye thing. You're doing the eye thing. You're gonna get here, and then you're gonna say like, "Let's talk about There Will Be Blood," and I'll be like, "Oh no, I love There Will Be Blood, but that's a movie. That is
I might
a
switch
film.
it up. I'll let you know. Sorry, what movie?
There Will Be Blood.
There Will Be Blood. Oh yeah. No, it's not gonna be like that.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks everyone for joining us. Thanks for hanging out. We're gonna do this again next week, so come back and chill with us and get our hot take on Last of Us 2 and a random movie and other things, right?
A not so random movie, a carefully curated.
Follow me at KenHa604 on the little thing down here.
Thank you for stalling while I queue up our outro.
Also follow Louise right below his portrait
at LF Sandrin.
Yep.
For all my hot takes and landscape photography. It's probably just gonna be me being sad over the weekend about Last of Us, but we'll see what happens. Thank everyone for watching. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. And for everything else, we'll be right here beyond the pixel.